We have a state budget. There's still no federal spending plan, but that's a story for another day. Today, you're watching the weekly Advocacy at Work update, budget edition of the Chamber of Catawba County. I'm Brian Francis, Advocacy Director, and it's September 25th, 2023. So, beginning of the week, there were more questions than answers. Would the casino language that was being discussed be part of the budget? Would Medicaid expansion be taken out of the budget and put into a separate bill with casino authorizations? And would there even be a budget? The General Assembly answered those questions by passing a budget early Friday morning, with all present House and Senate Republicans voting in favor, as well as 5 House Democrats. The final product included Medicaid expansion, Chamber priority, but not casinos. The bill ran 1,300 pages and spends $30 billion, and it accelerates the reduction in the individual income tax rate, which is currently at 4.99%. That rate would drop to 4.6% next year and 4.25% in 2025. The budget also provides raises and varying amounts for state employees and teachers, as well as increasing the starting pay for teachers, helping to work on the recruitment and retention of K-12 personnel as part of our legislative agenda. A new franchise tax structure is established for C Corps and S Corps, with different rates dependent upon their tax base. For C Corps, tax rate is $500 for the first $1 million of tax base, and then there's a $1.50 charge per $1,000 of the corporation's tax base that exceeds $1 million. S Corps are set up in a similar way, except the initial tax rate is $200 for the first $1 million of tax base. Those changes will go into effect starting in 2025. Next, in an initial response to the dwindling gas tax that funds our roads and highways, the budget imposes an increased registration fee for electric vehicles, going from $140 to $180, and it sets a new fee for plug-in hybrid vehicles of $90. Additionally, there's a 1% tax on ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft, as well as a 1.5% tax on what are called exclusive ride services, in which the passenger has sole use of the vehicle. Modernizing our transportation funding, that is part of the legislative agenda for the Catawba Chamber. Our legislative agenda also sought support for an early childhood workforce. This budget creates a tri-shared child care pilot program that creates a public-private partnership to share the cost of child care equally between employee, employer, and the state. The budget allocates $1.8 million over the biennium to fund the state's portion of those costs. 3 counties will be selected to participate in the pilot program. The state will also allocate $525,000 to launch a pilot program aimed at increasing the establishment of new in-home child care programs and expand the allowed capacity of family child care homes. Additionally, almost $100 million in unused federal funding from the previous budget will be utilized to extend child care stabilization grants for workforce compensation, extending that through June 30th, 2024. The budget also establishes some workforce development programs. That includes the short-term workforce development grant program, which provides grants of up to $750 per course for students enrolled in non-credit short-term workforce training programs in high-demand fields. Another provision includes a partnership between the Community College System Office, the North Carolina Retail Merchants Association, and the Retail Consumer Alliance Foundation to implement the Rise Up credentialing program. The objective is to provide foundational skills to students at community colleges and cooperative innovative high schools, preparing them for successful careers in the retail industry. The focus will be particularly on roles related to customer service, sales, inventory management, and logistics. The program offers a range of skill training, including job readiness, soft or durable skills, an understanding of the retail industry, and preparation for the multitude of retail jobs that we have here in North Carolina. We also saw the addition of an elective course, which will be created for middle school students to study career pathways, and all middle and high school students will be required to complete the career development plan. Okay. Lastly, let's move to local funding. Several entities in Catawba County are slated for appropriations. The largest amounts are for water and sewer infrastructure, including $20 million to Catawba County for an extension into Sherrills Ford, $15 million to the city of Hickory for the Highway 321 corridor, and $18 million to the city of Claremont for the Lyle Creek Sewer Project, as well as $12 million for the city of Newton. Various capital improvement projects and upgrades are funded from municipalities throughout the county. Additionally, the new App State Hickory campus will receive over $7 million for operations and startup costs, as well as over $4 million for renovations. Hickory Aviation Museum will receive $3 million for their new facility in partnership with the CVCC. Also, $200,000 was allocated to the Wilderness Gateway Trail, the state trail that could eventually lead to a state park in Catawba County, another one of our legislative priorities. Now, as you know from watching these videos, Governor Cooper has 10 days to either veto or sign the bill. If he takes no action, it becomes law without his signature after 10 days. And while the General Assembly will likely take a little bit of a break next week, we expect them back in Raleigh soon to begin the redistricting process and potentially override a gubernatorial budget veto. Until next time, this has been Brian Francis, and this has been Advocacy at Work from the Chamber of Catawba County.